I want to talk a bit today about the death that comes from letting go of something. Now, I could keep this incredibly general and use it as a way to describe the people we lose due to them being deceased, passing away, or unforeseen tragedy, but I'd rather focus on an ex-lover because this is someone whose heart is still beating. This is someone who still exists on the planet. It's just that you are no longer together, or you see each other on a semi-casual basis. Say you got divorced, you have kids, you're sharing custody, but the foundation for what once was is no longer there. And presumably because you both still exist, you could find a way to show up and work it out. Either the enthusiasm isn't there, or whatever potential you felt was there initially has dissipated through the harsh realities of getting to know one another to enough of an extent. Needless to say, you have this person who was once an intrinsic, instinctual, and very pivotal part of your life who is no longer any of those things, or at least not nearly in the same way. And you might find that you're having a really hard time letting go, even after an extended period of time. And there are various reasons for this. The obvious is that you fixed your identity to this person, whether you're codependent or not, to show up for someone, to make time for them, to listen to their problems, to plan a future with them. This is a way of taking your life and conjoining it with another human being's. And once they are gone, it can leave you adrift, leave you feeling really lost. What happens next? How did it all go wrong? You lose a portion of your identity, and by losing a portion of your identity, you're losing various facets of yourself. You're going to start questioning whatever led you to be with this person in the first place, whether you showed up as an appropriate partner, whether they showed up as an appropriate partner. There are many people who will jump to the next distraction or the next addiction or the next relationship and tell themselves that they're over it, that they've let go, when in fact they've done the furthest thing from. They've just skipped all the hard steps and missed out on all the insight. So why do you have such a hard time letting go? My sister-in-law was kind enough to get me Jung's Red Book, Carl Jung's Red Book, for Christmas. And I was reading it, and he had a wonderful passage in which he talks about how you cannot overcome evil because you secretly love evil. Now, what does this mean? I took it to mean that if you're ever in a line of traffic looking at some jackknife semi on top of a small car and the ambulance is there and everybody's slowing down, and you realize they're slowing down so that they can look and gawk, and you're disgusted by the rubberneckers, and then as you drive past, you find your head turning as well, as if you can't help yourself. That's not to say that we wish harm on others. It's just that there is a sort of fascination with evil within all of us. That's the yin-yang duality of being. Evil is there, the darkness is there, and the shadow is within us. Therefore, as a part of us, we are fascinated with it. So the reason you can't let go is because you still, either secretly or consciously, prefer to hold on. Now, why would you prefer to hold on? Many reasons. It's very hard to let go. And you will only reach a certain point when the pain of holding on exceeds the pain of letting go. Does that make sense? When the pain of continuing to hold on to this person is greater than the actual pain of letting go. You might say to yourself, I want to let go now. I want to get over this immediately. I just want this behind me. It isn't true. Think back to when you were still with this person and in love with them, whatever that happens to mean to each and every one of us. But to let go at that point would be as if the person suddenly vanished and had never existed, which would basically be just about everybody's worst fear. You have this person you love and you're planning a future with, and all of a sudden it turns out they were a figment and boom, they're gone. Then there's the split, usually a deterioration and then a split. Just because the split has occurred doesn't mean it's suddenly easy to let go of them. You can tell yourself to hell with them and go off and live your life out of spite. That's also not the same. They tend to haunt us. We carry them around with us because it would be excruciating to let go too suddenly. To let go all at once is just a thought we can't even fathom. I don't even know if we're capable of it, just suddenly letting go. And I think about it in terms of a mountain. If you think about this imposing, intimidating, ginormous land formation, and you have two options. You can fork over a couple $1,000s to some guy with a pilot's license. He can pop you into a helicopter and you can go all the way up to the top. You can jump out and you can take a bunch of selfies for social media, and then you can look around and you can say, wow, I understand the mountain. I understand myself. I understand what it takes. Well, you'd be full of shit to say that, wouldn't you? Your other option is to climb the mountain, to climb it slowly but surely, every single day, precariously, sometimes losing your footing, every once in a while feeling exhausted and wanting to give up, looking above you and thinking the mountain never ends, there's just no way I'm ever going to make it. But with every grip you have, you get a little bit further and a little bit higher. And due to climbing the mountain bit by bit, you ascend levels. You realize, oh, I'm 100 feet higher than I was yesterday, or I've reached this certain plateau before ascending further. And you can stop and look around. And with enough perspective, you can see how far you've come. But only through that harrowing experience can you actually reach the top and say, I understand what it takes. I understand this mountain, for whatever it was, for whatever it will remain. Because you may never entirely let go. In fact, I don't think any of us ever do. The pain will still rest in a chamber of your heart, or in a section of your soul, or in some recess of your being. And you'll simply find a way to live with it. And this will take time. Now, how long will it take you to climb that mountain? However long it takes you. However long it takes you. And no one can come along and tell you you're doing it wrong, or tell you that, if you've stopped progress and you're just sitting there with your arms crossed, feeling sorry for yourself halfway up, yeah, that's problematic. But if you're doing your personal process because you were the person in that relationship, and only you know what it entailed and what it required of you and what you gave and what you received, only you, and that other person who you may not even have contact with anymore. So you can climb that mountain. Once you reach the top, we all tend to realize that, there's a whole other set of mountains here. And I don't just want to sit around forever. So that could be a relationship. That could be figuring out more about yourself, which is, a recovering codependent, I highly recommend. Spend time out of a relationship entirely. Tune into you. Take yourself out for dates. Learn more about what you personally want without having to funnel it or filter it through another person. Because as I've stated before, at the end of the day, you really only have you to turn to and depend upon. So fortify that relationship and kissy kissy. Quick footnote here. The whole reason I'm calling this the death from letting go is because it is a form of death. As you fix your identity to somebody, as you fix your ego to the notion of sharing a life and all that life will become and all you feel, perhaps on some level entitled to, and then lose all of it, that is a death. And it is excruciating, and it is agonizing. So there is no need to ever minimize it. There's no need to truly push yourself beyond your limits and say, I should be over this by now. I should. No, don't give yourself some credit. You're going through a lot. This stuff is devastating. And it's devastating the world over. I don't care about the socioeconomic incomes or where in the world you were born or what you've been through during your existence or what trauma you've experienced. Heartbreak, losing someone you love to the simple dissolving of a relationship that you weren't able to salvage for whatever reason, is devastating across the world, across time. So give yourself some. And I love you. Kissy, kissy.